Hello and welcome to this episode of Point Counterpoint. As always, we are gathered here to introspect and deliberate on issues that are critical to Goa. Let me remind our viewers that we are discussing this vital topic of deaths on Goan roads umpteen times. We've actually lost count, whether it's 3 or 4 or 5. And Roland Martins here has been with us in all these debates. The very fact that we come back here when there is so much else to talk about just shows that the increasing number of deaths on Goan roads is something that is not only critical, but is shameful that a small state like ours cannot even get these basics right. And there are so many innocent lives that are lost for various reasons. In all the other episodes that we've conducted, we have focused on various issues, including drunken driving, reckless driving, and so on and so forth. Here today, we are looking at an issue that goes beyond what we've discussed before. We need to look at whether the villain lies within. And who is the villain? The villain cumulatively is all of us, including the system. A system that has absolutely failed to do the basics. Public representatives have absolutely forgotten what basic safety measures are needed. Funds allocated for road safety are either wasted or not implemented. There is no dissemination of information given either to elected representatives and people who are supposed to spend the funds. Secondly, public representatives are not always involved in the decision-making process. B, there is an absolute lackadaisical approach towards any kind of road safety, including safety around construction works that are going on, where road safety is absolutely minimal or absent. So much so that places that are dug in the city of Panjim and other places have actually become death traps where being alive is the exception and being dead has become the rule. 230 deaths have been recorded from the period of January to November 2023. We still don't have the December figures yet. 38 deaths happened in the month of January and an average of about 8, 9, 10, 15 deaths were happening all across the full year. 230 deaths in 11 months is absolutely shameful, followed by about 9 deaths in the first 3 days of 2024. We have a lot to unpack here, but we will look into different aspects that were probably not touched in earlier debates. One, the whole corruption involved in the issuing of licenses. How are licenses issued? Are there a lot of potential killers behind the wheels of cars and on scooters and motorbikes who should not be on the road in the first place? B, what about the manner in which our roads are engineered? Are they engineered in such a way to prevent safety, or is it done in such a way that you are actually almost ensuring that accidents take place? And so on and so forth. Road engineering is a big factor. The black spots is another major issue. So we will get into all of this and much more during the course of this discussion. I'll introduce our very esteemed panel of people who can speak on all these aspects very eloquently. We first have Sudeep Tamankar, very well-known face, known as an RTI activist, also happens to be the General Secretary of the All Goa Private Bus Owners Association. Next to him is young Bhavik Mirashi from the Goa Institute of Management. Bhavik and his colleague, who I'll introduce in just a bit, have been working on a very interesting project on actually studying the whole aspect of road safety, road engineering, black spots, and they've actually submitted a report to the Goa Chamber of Commerce, and I'm sure they're coordinating with the government of Goa as well. And they will have a lot to say because they've studied this freshly. As always, Roland Martins, coordinator of Goa needs no introduction again, but will again vent his frustration on most of these aspects which have not really been covered or implemented. But we will, as always, be positive and look for solutions. Vashant Akshikar again is a senior councillor of the CCP. And of course represents a ward which is surrounded by roads that are completely dug and are completely in a mess, and he will speak. And finally, We have Ayush Gupta also from the Goa Institute of Management, who along with Bhavik have conducted these road studies that I just spoke of. I will speak with first. I'll ask Roland to give a overview of the points that I've discussed, and we'll dive into each of these rabbit holes and discuss each of the points. But Roland, if you could just quickly reflect on the overall scenario as I spoke.
See, as you have rightly pointed out today, there are various issues. We will broadly look at it, whether it's enforcement, education, engineering. See, the Supreme Court Committee on Road Safety has very clearly put in place what we call a lead agency. And this lead agency has in its membership the Transport Department, Traffic Police, Health, PWD, vital agencies which have to work on this. Unfortunately, the lead agency is not able to lead. So that I think is the first issue we have to address and needs to be looked at, because if you have a system put in place and it's not able to move forward, that's one issue. Second thing, last year itself, the subcommittees for analysis of road accidents was notified. It is all the 27 odd police stations of Goa have been notified as a subcommittee along with PWD. The mobile numbers of the engineers are there who have to go and analyze. Now, my submission is that if these accidents of January 2023 were analyzed, a few of them, and put to the public, everybody would know what is the issue, what is the cause. So, a panchayat or municipality or CCP, whoever it is, could reflect and say, okay, what is my role? So, somewhere along the line, I feel the notifications are in place. Just last month, notifications have been issued about signages, that have to be put on the road, etc.
By the Transport Department.
PWD. So, in terms of notification, fantastic. The point which I would like to emphasize here, and what we have seen recently as far as CCP, in the last year itself, we have been taking up with both the district collectors and various departments that when you issue a tender, it is given there very clearly what the contractor has to do. Traffic marshals have to be put, red lantern in the night, warning signals, etc. Nobody is looking at that. So, the point here, these death traps which are taking place or, we face today, is because that once a tender is issued, there is nobody to follow it up. And even in Panjim, I have pursued cases and I've got boards and all put up. But, Goa cannot be doing this,
correct.
All over. Yeah. And we have now put even the road safety committees in place. So, I think the time has come that this entire issue has to be broad-based. We have to get everybody involved and start dealing with these notifications. Because I think if a notification is in place, it gives the power to the citizen, the elected bodies, academic institutions to move forward. This is my submission.
Vasant, coming to you next now, let us quickly get back, zero in on the recent horrific accident and death that happened just outside the People's High School, where this 21-year-old son of a former councillor died while he was riding back and fell into a big pit which was constructed or which was being dug for sewerage works. Now, Vasant, my point being is that when you do works across the city like this, why can't there be greater responsibility taken to ensure that there are proper barricades or signages, make that area completely accident proof or barricaded? Now, who is responsible for this? And even though you can call it a smart city project, don't you think that elected people from the city like you guys should be responsible?
See, basically, whatever has happened, the life has gone. Blaming it on passing the buck from here to there is very easy. But the family of our ex-colleague, he is facing the grief and it will be there in the family forever. But coming down to the issue of local representatives, to be very frank, there is very less role as far as the local representatives are concerned in the ongoing works. I have been very vocal in the earlier debates at various channels saying that role of local representative should be more because it is like a bridge between the government and the locals from the area.
Yes.
So whatever information we get from the government departments or the contractors, we can pass it on to the to the residents, whereby the people know that roads are being diverted, there are works going on, and people can take utmost precaution. As far as precaution from the contractors end or the engineers monitoring the works, I think work should be always proactive rather than reactive.
Right.
Unfortunately, we are in a setup where everything is reactive. Just because there is an incident on 1st of January, now we are debating and discussing. But it should be the same pattern throughout the year. The work should be proactive, and I think the responsibility is whether it is the elected representative, the contractor, the citizens, all should contribute in the safety of each other, because it is not only life of a citizen.
No, coming specifically, I mean, generically there is no dispute with what you're saying. I mean, that the very general views that all of us know. What we're essentially saying is when roads are dug in this country, there are so many multiple works of various agencies going on in Panjim. This particular incident could have been under smart city, but there's so much of work going on. My point is that if the whole city is dug and there are these death traps everywhere, what are the precautions being done to ensure that people don't fall in there? Where are your signages? Where are your barricades? This is a specific question. It's not about being reactive or not, or proactive. Either way you look at it, this still has to be done.
See, as you have rightly pointed out, as Roland sir said, in every tender there are safety precautions mentioned.
Right.
Now down the line, as elected representatives or citizens don't know what is there in the tender, what are the safety precautions. If we are made aware, I think we can get after the contractors in the interest of the citizens.
Yes.
We can follow up and get it done, or else make them hold their work until they take all the precautions. Now, as I said, in a proactive way we have done it. If we had done it, I don't think such incidents would take place, because we can pressurize the contractors, we can pressurize the engineers to put all the safety mechanisms in place first.
Right.
There should be a safety audit. There should be proper signages. There should be proper, night vision reflectors. And as citizens, while riding, we should be also blaming on certain agencies, okay. But as riders or drivers, we should be also more responsible. It is our lives, our families are waiting for us. We just cannot pass the buck on certain agencies, or we should also take care while riding that we take utmost precautions. Knowing that the road is being dug everywhere, we should have more civic sense. I think if we control our driving speed, our egos, if we leave early on time, I think these are small steps that will reduce the number of accidents that we have reported around 280, 230. I think half the time it is ego, running late, or using a mobile. I think if we reduce this and some safety measures from the departments, will go a long way in saving lives.
Right. Sudeep, now he mentioned that ultimately it is up to the rider also, or a driver, to be more responsible. The big question that we need to ask here is that are most of the drivers who are behind the wheel or on top of or riding a scooter or a motorcycle, are they even authorized to be driving it? Because if we get back into the manner in which their licenses are issued, the big problem is that you see the majority of licenses that are issued due to either some influence or downright payment taking, in the sense that the laws of issuing licenses have gone completely to the winds. And unless this is completely checked, you will still have a lot of people who do not know how to drive, do not know how to ride, have no knowledge of vehicles, who are getting licenses. Because since you are an RTI activist and have dealt with a lot of this, just elaborate on this and give us the right picture.
No, first reason is that there is rampant corruption is going on in transport department while issuing a licenses. In present situation, there is no need to person should be there present to obtain that license. While sitting at home, he is getting license. Rates are different. 20,000 for light, 30,000 for medium.
These are bribes.
40,000, yes, 40,000 you have to pay for heavy licenses, and you will. They are managing to get it. Second thing, no proper audit of driving schools. And third, now present developed roads, new constructed roads. There is no proper finishing to that roads. I remember that in UP, one road has constructed. Our military fighter plane Sukhoi and all that, they have landed on that road. I have also seen that one glass of water was kept on dashboard of Innova, and 150 speed that Innova was driving and on that road, and that glass was not single drop of water was not coming.
Yeah.
But in Goa, all these roads which are new constructed, there are not now ambassador and Fiat vehicles now. Branded vehicles are there. Highly foreign companies vehicles are there.
Yes.
And that vehicles while driving on this road, vibration of body sounds are coming on this road. So
okay,
it
yeah,
is
this is important. No, I just want to go back a little bit on this corruption in issuing licenses is concerned. So can you tell me that, when somebody goes to get a license, what are the basic tests that need to be done which is not being done now?
no, there is no need of a person to go visit in transport department.
No, I know, but what is ideal? What should be done?
No, first there was all the signals were there. He has to study, he has to prepare, he has to answer all these signals, which was inspector was asking them. Now I think online system is also become worse. They are managing to get through from that online system,
Right.
and all these things are going on.
Right.
They have not proper knowledge of that. All this while obtaining badge, there was basic knowledge was there.
Right.
It is also responsibility of driving schools. They have in their office, they have to keep all the parts of the dismantle of vehicles. He has to give proper knowledge of all the parts and all the.
Even that is not done. Right.
That is not done.
Right.
And all these things are going on. Nobody is bothered to see.
Okay. I shall come to you and then to Bhavik quickly. Okay. Now, the thing is, both of you from the Goa Institute of Management recently conducted a study on various aspects of road safety. So, just tell us a little bit about it and what was the purpose of the study and what are your intentions out of the study?
So the study was conducted by our students from the Goa Institute of Management. So basically the aim of the study was to identify the blind spots in Goa. Like what are the blind spots and black spots in Goa. So a black spot is a place where more than 10 accidents have been taken place in a distance of 500 meters within a particular given time span. So like when we were doing our project, so we were like identifying that what are the blind spots, what are the black spots that are causing accidents in Goa. As we know that Goa is a city which is like more of a tourist and there are local residents.
Yeah.
So we know that the safety of the tourist and the local people is the utmost important at this level. So like when we were analyzing the roads, our aim was to like identify that what are the major problems which are being caused. So which are causing these accidents. So we got to know that the roads are being constructed. So the main study was into three parts. First of all, the road was not constructed. Second thing, the development was there and we are like very proud that the road was constructed. Third, a development was made. But once the development was made, there were other blind spots and black spots created.
So you think after the road was constructed, more blind spots came
Yes,
up? Right. Okay. So, Bhavik, just to continue from... just continue from where he left.
So when we initiated the project, we also met the various stakeholders concerned with our project. So we met the traffic cell. We also met the head of the lead agency.
Right.
And while going on the field also, we also interacted with the locals, the traffic police. So we got to know what are the needs of each spot.
Right.
So we traveled around 1500 kilometers across 20 weeks and we identified 20 spots. So each spot has its own requirement. Say about road markings, dividers, signages, and illumination. These are the main aspects which we identified. Dealing when we interacted with the locals, because they are the one who are suffering on day-to-day basis. They also identified, like I can list out some names, spots. The Kundam Industrial Estate. There, first of all, there is no lights. and we got to know that most of the accidents are occurring at the night time. The lorries coming from the industrial estates and the local residents coming on the bike.
Right.
Also talking about that, the angle of banking, it's an engineering term, like you're taking a turn on the slope. So that's a major aspect. Then another spot was the Pharmagudi near the GVMs.
Yes.
That's like when it was constructed, within the first month only we identified 3 accidents over there. So such thing needs to be
What was the
taken.
what was the cause of those accidents?
So first of all, when our truck is going down the slope,
Yeah.
it's at high speed and there's a sudden turn.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. So
at
nobody
least
looked at that.
the turn should be on the same level, not on the slope.
Right.
At least to
Right.
to avoid the toppling of the vehicle.
Right.
At least you can skid if it's on the same level, but not the toppling and going in the another lane or falling from the upper road. It's falling down on the service lane also,
Right.
and you're putting other people also
In danger. Correct.
So talking about this, we dealt with it. We have prepared a report on this. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Roland, coming back to you, as you were mentioning, see, so many accidents have happened. Now, after every accident, you have emphasized on this very fact that there needs to be a proper analysis of each accident,
Yes.
so that it is not repeated.
Yes.
Now, just elaborate a little bit on who needs to analyze it,
Yeah.
and what is the role of these road safety committees and different.
See, a road safety committee which we initiated at a panchayat is
So every panchayat has a road safety
every
committee
panchayat.
and a municipal body.
Yes.
And
Now the point is how operative they are. One can debate about it.
Right.
But we have put the system in place.
Right.
We have even given guidelines of
So
how
I
they
ask
should
you a
function.
straight question.
So the point here is,
Yeah.
they are stakeholders like
Right.
a woman, senior citizen, student,
Right.
business representative. These are not technical people,
Right.
right? But if there's an accident analysis subcommittee which is there, which presents, say, an accident in Mapsa or Ponda or Panjim or in a village panchayat area, that committee can look at
But
that.
is there a committee like this? No.
No, there is.
There is
The committees are for all police stations. Subcommittee to do accident analysis is notified for all 27 police stations in Goa.
And the panchayats have a road safety committee.
Yes.
Oh.
So the point now, if I'm on a road safety committee, I would be looking for technical expertise. I have written to the DMA. I have written to Director of Panchayats. I've given them a draft to hold training program. See, these are lay people who have come and shown interest.
That's right.
Now we have to take them to the next level.
Right.
What is the Motor Vehicle Act? What are the penalties? What are, for example, some of the points from the GIM study?
Right.
The question here is that somebody has to tie up all these loose ends.
Right.
The point I'm making is after notifying the subcommittees, not a single media house or channel has shown even one report has been publicized. Even I've been pushing for the.
No, are you saying the subcommittees have submitted reports? No.
Nobody knows.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Right.
See, once an accident takes place, this committee has to go do its report, site inspection, come up with a report.
Right.
Now, this report has to be submitted somewhere.
Right.
Okay. Now, I can understand you don't submit in 3 months. Now, 1 year, October 22 was the notification. We are now January 24.
Right.
At least one report should have been publicized somewhere so that people have confidence, no? So, somewhere along the line, no? Like, I will give one simple example.
Right.
In a meeting, I brought to the notice of the respective collectors that at the end of putting zebra crossing or whatever, it's written there, compliance in 1 month.
Right.
The PWD engineer is telling me, forget it, it will not happen in 6 months, 1 year also. Now, in the meeting, if you are taking this attitude, I'm saying what, at least think about lives. No?
Right.
At least speed breaker and zebra crossing, I say do it fast track.
Right.
I'm not talking about the big projects. But zebra crossing, signage, you see that I keep repeating about that accident at Nagwa, where that man lost his life with the 2 children on his bike.
Right.
If you see, he went over a speed breaker which is illegal. Because that speed breaker is there, he slowed down. Behind came a car from Gujarat. He doesn't know.
Right.
He went at high speed, banged him, killed him.
Right.
So the point I'm saying is signages are very important and funds are available with panchayats. So somebody has to tell them.
Each panchayat would have how much of money for signages and roads?
See, Panchayats have their own money.
Right.
Now central government is giving under Gram Panchayat Development Plan. We have gone for training. We have done the training. We have told them you can use money even up to 2 to 6 lakhs to put up the proposal. Use it for signages. Okay. Put up speed limit boards. Okay. Now the point is, I agree, a panchayat is not a technical person to do it.
Right.
But they've got the money.
Right.
They, let's say, have the interest. Now the technical people have to come and join hands. So what I think is urgently required is, at least at, if not state level, to district level, we are on the committees. But the point here, as I said, everybody has got some other responsibility to do.
Right.
So
we are coming to you. See, I'll again like to take the focus back on these driving schools and corruption in the driving schools. You see, if you recall, I think the Lokayukta got into this whole aspect of driving schools about a couple of years ago.
4 years back.
4 years ago. And a proper, and they identified.
Audit was done.
Audit was done and action was taken against some schools.
Around 89 schools.
89 schools. Now, what my point is, if going by the way things are functioning, I won't be surprised if those schools have again come back and
Yes,
started
they
operating.
came back.
So the issue
They
is that
managed to come back.
exactly. So what? So if you could just focus a little bit on these driving schools and how do these driving schools work, and on what basis do they get permissions to be driving schools, and on what basis are now we recently heard that the RTO has said they don't need to come to an RTO for license if you go to an authorized driving school, and the driving school will now have the power to even issue licenses. Now, will this solve the problem or further lead to
No.
more
It will
complications?
increase the problem.
Yes.
Because now driving schools, the persons who are managing driving schools, they have become driving schools less, but they are working as an agent of RTO
I see.
officers.
Right.
And they are managing all the works in RTO. Not only licenses, but all other works they are managing by taking
So the driving
bribes and
schools are
all
not,
that.
not necessarily teaching you how to drive.
No.
They are basically agents to give you license.
Now.
Right.
Licenses and all other works
Right.
you can done after contacting them. All other works you can carry it out. So there is as a bus operator, I am driving my bus. I have also private vehicle. I am going here and there in Goa also. So at that time we can see on the road there is vehicular traffic has also increased in Goa. So on Mapsa to Panaji road, if you have take that proper statistic, there will be no accidents.
From the Mapsa to
Mapsa to
Panjim.
Panaji road,
Right.
because there is traffic is not moving as fast as on other roads.
Right.
Driver is not getting chance to take speed on this road.
Right.
So vehicular traffic is increased. There should be control on rent a bike. There should be control on rent a cab. It is a choice given by government.
There are
Are you
saying there are too many rent-a-cabs?
Yes,
Right.
yes. Okay. Choice given to unemployed youths.
Right.
So there should be proper number of vehicles should
There
be
should be
controlled.
some cap, you say.
Five and all that.
Correct.
Now there are some person who have entered in rent a cab and business also. They are managing to bring one truck two-wheelers at a time.
Who's getting one truck of two?
One truck मतलब one truck
One truck full of scooters.
full of scooter.
Right.
They are managing to get. There is no need to go to dealers and all that.
Oh, so you're saying anybody who does this rent-a-cab, rent-a-bike business
Yeah,
can
this
actually
much, this business is gone up. So there should be capping on that number.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that a rent-a-bike guy can actually buy a truckload of bikes and rent it out and do business and profit also.
Yes.
Vijay, if I can
Yeah,
intervene,
sure.
I am handling consumer cases now. I will show you clearly in the state of Goa. Now there are cases of EV bikes
Right.
who have come, sold, gone, disappeared.
Right.
They have no trade certificate, no trade license. They are operating in the state of Goa and gone. Forget that. I am getting complaints now. A vehicle is having 2 number plates. It runs as a tourist vehicle in the morning, and in the evening it has a rent-a-cab. Now the point here as a consumer, if you sit in a rent-a-cab and if you sit in a tourist vehicle, the insurance changes. If there's an accident, how many tourists will know that this number plate has been changed? So who is going to keep a track of this? So the point I'm making here is that, see, there's a certain amount of ambiguity in the rules also. And that is why I'm of the opinion that many of the rules have to be looked at closely for the state of Goa. And since we are heading to be a bigger and bigger tourist destination, not lesser, bigger,
Right.
it's very important that we start analyzing the accident. I had said this in the last meeting also, that we have to analyze who is dying in these accidents. Okay, how many people who died are migrants? How many people are tourists, domestic, foreign, etc. So that we match our IC awareness material to suit them. I cannot give a leaflet, in English to a person who has come from Jharkhand.
Right.
You see, so all this has to be analyzed, and where these deaths have taken place, how many have taken place in North Goa, South Goa, and these categories. So I repeat, tourism department is not doing at all anything about, besides saying welcome to Goa. You need to talk about road safety. Every day, your people, your channel and all is showing people standing on top, keeping the doors open.
Right.
So why is all this happening?
Right.
This is all happening because we don't have a protocol, an advisory to go out saying, in the new year, okay, welcome to Goa, no problem. But follow the basic discipline.
Right.
So multiple agencies need to take the responsibility.
Also, do you feel now the time has come also for different councils and municipal bodies to have a specific cell, maybe there already is or is dormant or whatever, to have a proper, a road safety cell or committee that actually works? And periodic meetings should happen of these road safety committees. They can analyze all the accidents taking place in their municipal area, look at solutions, give reports, get technical aspects, and most importantly, have a proper discussion around it. Because what happens is, like all other issues, I don't think the civic bodies are taking up issues of public importance in this kind of a manner.
To be very frank, forming new committees is very easy.
No, I'm talking of existing committees. The rural
Or
said,
whatever the existing committees. But there are so many agencies already working. If they work properly, I don't think there is a need for another agency. In Panjim, you have a RTO, you have traffic cell, and if you mix a new forum or a new setup, I don't think it is going to help much. The current setup, if they do their job properly, I don't see any other.
see, Vasan, what my point
just
is,
intervene
yes,
here.
Yes.
Actually, the road safety committee, for example, in CCP,
Yeah.
is actually a platform for an interface
Right.
between these very agencies.
Correct.
The representative, that is, there is one councillor put on
Right.
in the committee.
Right.
Business community is represented, senior citizens, because as we rightly discussed in this today's session, see, there are many technical things the common business community, for example, doesn't know.
Correct.
Senior citizen doesn't know.
Correct.
So this is a platform
So
for an
basically,
interface.
so the CCP has to act as that platform.
Yes.
Because there are different bodies, but CCP has to be like the bridge to get everybody together.
Yes.
And not in only CCP.
Yes.
All MLCs also and others as well.
All
So,
municipalities.
yes.
What I feel is another thing can be done for the coming generation. Now, whatever is there is a different thing. If we start education, civic sense at school or college level, that will help a lot. Because what happens is that mostly if you see the accidents by death are of the youngsters. So if we give them proper guidance, it may call it career guidance or something like that. Be it driving, be it say no to drugs. There are several social issues. If that is taught at the college level,
Right.
then I think the coming generation at least would be more sensitized as far as these issues are concerned.
Ayush, coming to you. Now, my first question is, what's going to be the journey of your report now? At what stage is it? Is the final report ready? What is going to be the follow-up action? How will you try to ensure that what you've done ultimately becomes effective?
So, like, coming to the report, so now, like, we have created the report last year.
Right.
So we
Oh,
have
last year it was created.
so like
I mean,
in
23.
Last academic.
2023.
Yeah.
So it was like created. So now the report has been submitted to CIIY. So like now the report has been submitted. Now they will be forwarding the report to the concerned authorities, and after that they will be taking the followbacks from them. Once the followback is received, after that they will contact us that these are the followbacks which I've received from them, and after that we will be sending them a complete detailed roadmap that this is the work that needs to be done, and after that the actions can be taken by the concerned authorities like lead agency, the traffic department, and the other authorities.
So tell me, so what role can GIM play, moving forward?
So GIM has give Goa initiative. So previously also similar project was done like before COVID in 2019. So we have taken this to an upper level now. So what we notice is that there are, as the sir also said, there are many bodies, but all are working in silos. There's no flow of communication throughout. And like when we were also interacting with them, there was a blame game. Like there's PWD, there's the municipal corporations, NHAI, who is the responsible, and the traffic cell. And if there's any issue also, they are the concerned people. And when we go over there, there's another thing that the other body should look into. So this is the point. Also, when we see that, there's one more point Mr. has said.
CCP, of CCP.
Yeah, no, one thing.
Okay, we'll come back. See
I got it. Regarding awareness and education. So, there are many spots like they are not blind spot as such, but recent development going in Galjibag in Kankan, the Binani Kolwale, that over there, there are underpasses created. There are no proper signages, and people also, or locals also are not aware. These new roads are there, there are service lanes, but people don't know how to use the service lane. They are using it as tool lane service. Yeah, even the large trucks are also taking turn and coming back. So this is something that
there is something called a service lane protocol. But people are not aware of the service lane protocol, right?
Lastly, one point I want to add is, as Sudeep Bab said, number of rent a car, rent a bike, it's going up. I think the traffic department, transport department, police should tie up with Google, and it should be a real-time map. Because I'll give you the example of Panjim. Panjim is converted into a one-way vehicular movement, but unfortunately, Google is still showing the old one. And when you see the tourist coming in the opposite direction,
use Google more than anything else.
They use Google. So similarly, Pan Goa, if a real-time road network is uploaded through artificial intelligence, I think
there could even be an app on this.
There can be a between app, because I am giving you examples of Panjim. People early in the morning after playing on the casinos or late night, they come at a high speed in the no entry. And locals,
this is a common occurrence.
It is a common occurrence. Either there are hit and misses. Luckily, by God's grace, there has been no death because of that in Panjim. But there have been minor and
it's a lurking
hit
danger.
and
It can happen anytime.
So it is high time we use technology, because we cannot stop tourists coming in. We cannot, that tourism cannot be affected. But what can be done is technology being used. Because locals suffer here. There are high chances of someone, dying. So it has been fortunate enough that there has been no death. But Panjim, if you see, there are all crossroads. And they go at such a speed that, it has been probably the almighty saving the
Panjim is probably,
So I wanted to say now, there are many big events taking place. Okay. There's a children's festival in Margao. There's a Purple Fest, which is going to, focus on disability, etc. I think it's very important that at these events, people from across the country come, etc. We must start putting road safety issues there. I'll tell you why. Because it's no point in trying to talk for the rights of the person with disability when actually he comes with his wheelchair and he's going to face a problem. Okay. As rightly pointed out, tourists, so many tourists are coming to Goa, and they just do not know where to go. And for example, in Bardes, there's famous road of that Madani Dek. What if you take that example only? It's popular. So now we have to put systems in place.
Absolutely.
So if we even work
that can be that road can be another death trap. Because there are people on the roads taking selfies, taking pictures.
So just to add, now for example, the 13-kilometer stretch from the Titan junction there up to Vasco.
That's right.
The 13-kilometer stretch. See, we have been repeatedly asking NHI to put road safety signages there, so that at least one road when you're driving,
that whole highway that
exactly
that runs to the airport.
Because NHI doesn't have any other place
Right.
other than that stretch.
Right.
But that stretch is used by, MES college students are going,
Right.
there are other activities happening there.
And airport commuters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have to start looking at drawing more agencies into doing small bits. See, it's a big job. Goa is a small state, but big job to handle as far as road safety is concerned.
Right.
So at least in 2024, I think the need is like maybe we start with CCP. Recently I went and they told me, we should have the meeting of the road safety committee. I said, very good. Let's start.
Correct.
Whatever has happened. Let the new year at least we start with a positive note. And with other municipal councils, they always look at CCP being the capital city.
Correct.
How are they doing it?
Right.
We have initiated a campaign from 1st of January on pavements. We have started working on pavements.
Right.
We will stop people who are driving on Panjam pavements I'm talking about. And we have taken one pavement at Pato in where the Shram Shakti building is there, Labour Court and Children's Court.
Right.
Day first yesterday we did a campaign to remove the hawkers.
From the payments.
From the pavement.
Right.
And then we have stopped this AC water falling.
That's right.
So
Correct.
people get onto the road because water is falling. So these are things, small initiatives which we are saying CCP can take on. We have identified 3-4 such campaigns which CCP can take on.
Right.
And therefore in every municipal council and every panchayat, we take 2 or 3 things we are adding to the larger list, of wish list that is there to reduce fatalities in Goa.
I would like to add a point as Sir mentioned.
Yeah, can I just come to you? I'll just get Sudeep Babin.
Yeah,
Then I'll
sure.
bring you in.
Yeah.
Immediately. So, Sudeep, one point I wanted to raise here is that, see, you control a lot of these buses, or your association contains, and it does a very important and a responsible job. What role can an organization like the bus owners or the buses play in creating awareness? See, for instance, we were mentioning, why can't you use your bus bodies as proper communication tools, for instance? Secondly, what more can the bus lobby do to ensure that, because what is interesting here is that buses have hardly been involved in these reckless accidents. Whatever we say,
Yes.
the buses have if you look at the bus lobby,
Few cases.
they have not really been part of any of these major accidents. So obviously they are driving more safely than private vehicle operators. So your response.
So it is correct, and awareness is done between our drivers and all that. 2 government road safety weeks are there, going on, one in January and one in October or September, I think. So, and we are always controlling our drivers.
One specific point is, see, your bus bodies are actually mobile hoardings. So one can be a little more selective and discreet about what kind of messaging that you need to put on these bus bodies. For instance, if every week or every month you take up one particular campaign and you paint all these private buses with one particular, for instance, safety of payments can be one, or signages. Or
no, we have asked permission to government before government, but they are not giving.
So I want to come to that.
Yes.
See, this is my plea at all the meetings.
Right.
Same way with Kadamba Transport Corporation. Instead of putting condom ads and other advertisements or gutka and such other things, pan masala, whatever, you put road safety signages,
Right.
Kadamba buses. And same way, as Sudeep has rightly pointed, they have a vast network of
Very
private
vast
buses.
network.
We are
But
asking
I
from
cannot
2007
Yes.
You've been asking
for permission
Yes.
to do what?
To put
for
this.
this advertisement and all.
See,
that.
the point is, we cannot ask the private bus owner to pay out of his money
Of
to
course.
put that ad.
Correct.
He is
Government
giving the
has to put it.
space. So
Correct.
that's what I'm
Correct.
saying. The need of the hour is to look at awareness in a very different context. See, department may have differences with the transport assistance, fair enough.
Correct.
But let us give the money. There is money available.
Correct.
So there can be a whole campaign for 2024.
Only one enjoys that Brahma Kumari.
Right.
They are helping us
Okay.
to make their proper signages and all
Right.
that.
Right.
We are putting on, we're displaying that on a road safety week
Right.
on our buses.
Bhavik, you wanted to come in. Sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to take on the point as Sir mentioned on technology. I don't feel it's the right time to implement. We can implement it on a later phase. Right now, we need to focus on basic requirements, as we also mentioned in our reports, like illumination. We can't provide illumination on the roads. There are no street lights. We are talking about AI. AI also requires time to make its algorithm and go over the time.
Right.
So right now, there's no illumination. we can see that there's no proper signages also. So these are the basic things, and this doesn't even require a lot of fund. Talking about we'll be allocating the fund to the technology. First, we need to sort this basic requirements, and on later stages, it's a good initiative, but that's not the need of the hour.
No, but what he is saying is that ultimately one doesn't need to wait for the other. You do this on one side, on the other side. See, because what is also happening is, the point is, when tourists are going out and looking at Google and getting wrong information from Google,
Correct.
they are actually speeding and heading towards death and heading towards. So I would say that yes, both are important. What you said is also important. Both have to go side by side. So you'll have to kind of look at technology.
Signages are also important.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
important.
Yes.
Because in Goa, there are no guard sections.
Right.
Straight roads are there.
Right.
But while we are going in Maharashtra and all that other states,
Right.
there are a lot of guard sections.
Right.
But we are not seeing that accidents are occurring regularly there.
Right. Right.
Who is control that accidents? That's signages.
Another
घरी
policy-
बायका मुले तुमची वाट पाहत आहे, वाहने सावकाश हाका, and all that related to life of the people,
Right.
it, making effect in
Right.
mind of that
Absolutely correct.
people.
Another
That
policy
to control the speed of his vehicle.
Correct.
Another policy decision that needs to be taken is, once there is an accident and if there is any loss to the public property, then until the money is recovered, I think the person should not be left alone.
The good point.
Because at many instances,
Yeah.
be it a bus stop, be it an electric pole or a compound, the public money is being spent again for someone else's mistake. So until and unless that person is
Very good
penalized
Very good point.
for damaging the public property,
Correct.
No, now recovery.
So I want to
and
just share.
implementation is not being
No,
done.
I just want to share.
Yeah, yeah.
This matter has been taken up by our Consumer Conciliation Committee of Department of Civil Supplies and
Right.
Consumer Affairs.
Right.
And Electricity Department every month is reporting now.
Yeah, we've
Yes,
seen
and
cases
it's
like
very
this.
interesting,
Correct.
I will tell you. We have
Yeah.
got very good cooperation from them.
Okay.
They have started compiling the statistics of how many such accidents have taken place and the recovery process
And
has
they're
started.
charging people for damaging.
No,
Yes,
it is
yes.
going through
They
now.
are
It
charging.
started.
That work has
started.
started.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ayush, coming to you, and we have about 10 minutes left. I'd like to go back to information, communication, education. See, your institute has played a big role in this as far as road safety is concerned. The very fact that you all have traveled 1500 kilometers and done it is very good. Now, the issue is, why can't GIM now extend its role a little further and become the lead institute to spread education in schools and colleges? Because most of the young people who are passing away, unfortunately, are either existing students or who recently moved out of college. So all the things that we are discussing now, it is very important to do this awareness also in colleges and educational institutions.
Sir, like when we talk about the awareness, the first thing is we need a government support. Like we have a college institution, when we are visiting a government college,
Right. Right. Right.
or when we are visiting any kind of when we are visiting any kind of a government school or a government college,
Right.
the first thing is we need the support from the traffic department and the government, that whenever we are putting some initiative, like we have to have a body which is being which help us. For example, like when we are visiting any kind of a stakeholder,
Right.
like when we are asking that what are the things that where we can contact and how the work are being done. So the thing is the blame game, that they are blaming some other party. So like we are not having the awareness of that whom we have to reach.
Right.
For example, if the particular road is damaged, so whom I have to approach? Like if I go to a traffic police officer, he at the ground level he is saying that we are asking the government for the support, but they are not providing us the support. We visited a dolphins. There is some dolphin square. So we visited. There were like
Which taluka?
But
This is
this, yeah.
Kalangu.
Kalangur.
In
Kalangur.
Kalangur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that main one. Yeah.
so the thing was, there was a circle, like he was saying that tourists usually came because it's a heavy tourist area. So he was saying that people usually come on their two-wheelers and cars, and they usually bang the divider which is being placed on the road because it is usually like a steel divider.
Right.
So by that the scooty drivers are being like rash on the road, and they are having some injuries.
Right.
So what he was saying, that he asked the government for a plastic divider so that he can like put small dividers in the middle. So like if in case like if a thing happens, so there is like less of injuries. So they were saying that we are not receiving any kind of government support, and we are like paying from our pockets and putting that
But
dividers.
the shocking part is the support is already there. There are funds available there.
Available.
Yeah, it's not that they. I mean, so, but the whole issue.
No, so I have one point for
Yeah.
Goa Institute of Management, because management is the focus of the
Focus,
institute.
yes, yes.
I think that in 2024, and I'm very pleased that they are here, that they can put up a proposal, we will all support this idea, that, management needs to come in traffic management. It's traffic management, road safety.
Right.
So some of the, key points that you have discovered in your study, I think if it can be summarized and given to all the media. See, what is happening right now, the report, by the time government accepted, etc. I think that presentation which you have done, even the summary of that can be released. What are the essential findings?
No, while this is important, the point that I was stressing.
No, that would go with awareness.
That's right,
See,
correct.
because now, there are 2 law colleges, there are at least 3 teacher training colleges.
Right.
So even if these 4 or 5 institutions, you all can organize at your campus, a
Right.
kind of a, round table with the institution, saying, okay, what can we do together?
No, I was also looking at a more kind of long-term sustained IC program in different colleges
Yes.
conducted by Goa Institute of Management.
Yeah.
See,
for
for
that,
instance,
they would need, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, again here,
Yeah.
I would say, you can write to Government of India for funding. Money is available there. The website is open for a particular time. There is no shortage of money.
right.
So I think that this initiative can be taken, and it could be done for 2024.
Okay. I'll just do one last round, starting with Steve. Steve, can you just summarize or tell us in about 5 or 6 points what can we do now based on whatever we've discussed to ensure that in 2024 the number of accidents comes down to at least half. We don't want a single death, by the way, but I'm just saying, to start with, let us pray that at least the number of accidents and deaths come down drastically in the next 1 year, if not eliminated totally, because the first 3 days have not given us any good sense.
So license issuance procedure should be improved.
Very true.
There should be control on that.
Yes.
Then driving school, what it should be done. They should be
Yeah,
not
driving
work
schools.
as
Yeah,
a
driving schools
agent.
should work as proper driving schools and not as agents of the RTO to give licenses. Correct.
Yes. Then reducing number of rent-a-cabs.
Rent-a-cabs is far too much, and there
Yes.
needs to be a cap on
Yes.
this. Right.
Proper surface finishing of roads
properly,
surface
yes.
is not
done.
roughly they are done.
Right.
So that it should be improved.
Right.
Then also other things can be done that.
Okay. The points that you mentioned is very good. If something comes to your mind, you can tell. Bhavik.
So after working on the project, I see that all the basic requirements such as road markings, illumination, signages, and this needs to be implemented. And some of the things when we were interacting is that it's already passed, but it's not implemented. It takes over a year of time. So this needs to be done very quickly. That's
Okay. I'll come to you next. Rohan, I'll come to you last. We'll conclude. Yeah. Bas.
Summarizing, my suggestion is that all systems, with funds, policies, everything are in place. Only thing is implementation with conviction, whether from police, RTO, civic bodies like us, panchayats, education, sensitizing the youth, especially the youth, about the parents' care for them, their future.
Right. Right.
Say no to drugs, say no to alcohol, drunken driving, and strict implementation for traffic violators. I think I'll give a small example. We've got a very good project in Panjim. It's a Prime Minister's flagship project of Integrated Control Command Center.
Right.
There are around 380 cameras, and there have been, I think, 96 lakhs worth amount being collected because of the fines. And their e-fines, means they are sent via challans.
Right.
And if this is implemented in other parts of the state also, paying those hefty fines, I think it will be a
deterrent.
it will be a burden, and people before violating will be,
Think twice.
will think twice about overspeeding or breaking the rules.
Right.
I think that is the crux, is implementation of whatever is available rather than starting new systems.
Yeah.
So by summarizing, I just wanted to say that it's the time that now everyone should be aware of the roads and the things which had happened in earlier. We should like forget that, and now we should move to a new year. And I think the decisions should be like this, that a proper maintenance and the caretaking of the road should be done. And all the like concerned authorities should come together. Like if there are like 2-3 committees, so they should come together and make a proper decision regarding the roads.
Right.
Because in the end, the safety of the people matters.
Yeah, Roland, please sum up the whole.
Yeah. So what I think, see, ultimately this debate is with a media house like you. I think the need of the hour is, many of the notifications, like for example, Sudeep has rightly pointed, what is a driving school? If we can have this thing in public domain,
Right.
what is the role of a driving school?
Right.
What is the role of a subcommittee for accident analysis? All this material, first of all, is in English. So it has to be made in the vernacular.
Right.
So even 2024, if we can just reach this thing to everybody, even I've raised the issue of compensation.
Right.
The compensation scheme itself, people do not know. That, okay, somebody has died. At least let his family get some money which is available.
Right.
So all these things which are there, if we can just keep highlighting this, at least in the first 3 months of this year, I think we should be able to make a difference.
Okay, so we've come to the end of a long discussion, but this is a discussion that can go on and on forever and ever till accidents become minimized and completely get eradicated. But ultimately, as I've named this particular episode, and I've said Goa road accidents, the villain lies within. The idea here is that there is a villain in all of us, because whenever we are not doing our jobs properly, or not doing our jobs effectively or honestly, different agencies have failed at different points of time without realizing that their act of corruption or their act of negligence or their act of unawareness as possible is ultimately leading to a larger picture. See, it is almost like a drop, each drop builds up the ocean, and that's exactly what is happening. When everybody and each one of us don't do our jobs properly, then it leads into, becomes a huge mountain of inefficiency and dread and disaster. And that is exactly what is witnessed in a road, because when you lose a life, the result is absolute tragedy, but each life is lost due to a series of things that are supposed to be done and not done by different authorities who are responsible. So all of us have villains, but the bright point here is that all of us have a chance to be heroes. If civic bodies, if the police, the traffic department, the driving schools, and so the transport department, everybody decides to basically implement rules that are already existent, use the funds that are available to its proper use. The media needs to play a role of not only highlighting but spreading awareness constantly, as Roland keeps on reminding us all the time, which we should definitely follow. Like, all of us need to identify the villain within us and convert that villain into a hero, and that is very important. We end this discussion on a hopeful note, and we really hope that some of these points are taken into consideration. I thank all the panelists, also especially our young guests who've took the trouble to come to the studio, who already have done a lot of legwork, probably more than many public representatives, going into different areas, looking at black spots, looking at solutions. So I think it is very important for the young people to also come out and appreciate these efforts and be a part of it, because unfortunately more than 50% of the people who lose their lives happen to be those who are under 30, and that is where the tragedy lies. That too many innocent lives are lost because of these inefficiencies. Anyway, here's hoping that 2024 is going to be much better, and we get on the road to a safer Goa. Thank you so much.